Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here on this Tuesday. I'm so excited that you're with us today because today I'm bringing a very special friend to talk about how you can be your glorious self and step into what you've always been meant to be and who you've meant to be and the life that you've wanted to live. And so welcome to the CafeD. My name is Vicki Townsend and I'm the founder of the CafeD. I created the CafeD because I wish I had had a place like this when I was going through my divorce. Especially, this was not my first time at bat. I guess I thought that I would be a little bit better at it than I was, but I still went through all of the emotions and all of the doubt and the self-esteem issues and all of those things that you go through, especially when you're going through a divorce that wasn't expected. But I wanted to create a community for people that are going through it, but not only just people that are going through it. I wanted to have in that community some really special support. I wanted life coaches. I wanted health and wellness coaches. I wanted to talk and ask a question of maybe a divorce attorney or a financial advisor. Somebody give me some accounting information that I didn't have to pay $150 for an hour with this one, $400 for an hour with this one, and $125 for this. It was just, I was being $100 billed to death just to get my questions answered. And sometimes I just would have a silly, stupid question, and I just didn't know where to go. So I've created the CafeD to provide you with a resource just like that. So when you become a member of our community, you will have access to divorce attorneys, real estate attorneys, oh gosh, will and estate planning, so many more in the legal community. We've got accountants, from forensic accountants and CPAs. We've got financial advisors and certified financial planners back there for you. We've got marriage and family counselors. We've got child psychologists. We've got a real estate agent that can tell you all sorts of things about the things and decisions that you need to know before you sell your home or how to keep it, and so much more. Insurance, mortgage, and of course the most important part is the opportunity for you to get your life back on track again, and that's what Choosedays are all about. Choosedays is about trying to help you pull yourself up by the bootstraps, because I know that sounds like that's an easy thing to do, just pick yourself up and pull yourself up, right? Wrong. It's not that easy. And with the support of the people that you'll find here on the CafeD, we are here to make that easier for you. So you'll see a link right over there in the chat area that will take you to our membership area, and you can join our community and have access to all of these experts right here in the CafeD community. We have a very private Facebook group called the CafeD, and when you join our membership community, you can become a member of our private Facebook group and speak after this webinar today and so many others with those experts that I'm telling you about. They're waiting for you, they have answers for you, and they're here to support you. So what I would like to do is talk to you about my very special friend that's here today. I will read you her biography in just a moment, but I wanted you to know that we've worked together before several times. When I had and was working with my company, Inspiration University, I used to put on some rather large events for women down here in the South Florida community. And when I reached out to a lot of people about who were these great motivational and inspirational speakers in our community, this woman's name always came up. And they were not wrong. So I had Gloria speak at some of our Inspiration University conferences in the South Florida community more than once, I think 3 times, Gloria. You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. But she was an amazing speaker and an amazing motivational speaker each and every time. So I'm so grateful to have her here today. So I want to tell you a little bit about Gloria Ramirez. She has an MBA. She's the author of Uncover Your Glorious Being. As a speaker, she lectures in the fields of personal development and spirituality. She is also a certified coach, a minister, and a healer. Her compassion, charisma, passion, and authenticity, coupled with the wisdom of her teachings, helps create tangible results that transform people from the inside out. Gloria's life is an example of triumphantly overcoming obstacles, including 2 divorces, so she is one of our sisters. Her determination and perseverance moved her from victim to victor. She was always able to heal her past to the point of realizing that those experiences were truly a gift. And she is now the host of a well-acclaimed weekly talk show called Thank God It's Monday. I want you all to welcome my very dear friend, Gloria Ramirez. Hi, Gloria.
Hi, Vicky. Thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction, and I definitely enjoy those events. It was amazing to connect with so many beautiful people, and I am happy to connect with you and your audience today again. This is very good idea. I think what you are doing is excellent, and serving and helping people to remember that there are ways to solve the problems and the challenges. So congratulations and thank you.
And, Gloria, one of the things that, from my own personal standpoint was, I luckily had financial resources to get through my divorce, right?
Yeah.
And that was a blessing, and I'm not going to belittle that at all, because I had what I would consider a heads up. But Gloria, what I didn't have, even though I had a company called Inspiration University, right? I didn't have a place where I could go and find people just like you that could actually help me through the process of not my divorce so much, because that's a system and that's a process, and there's paperwork and there's, negotiations and all of that stuff. But I'm talking about the emotional, first of all, devastation, but what I didn't remember was that I had access to all of those wonderful people that could have helped me. And it wasn't until I kind of woke up and said, wait, I have these people. I know these people. I worked with these people, and they're amazing. Why am I not using it? And I did a lot of work. And I will say that it's the one thing and the most important thing that I even did on all of the process of getting a divorce was the work that I did on myself. That was what helped me put the smile back on my face that I have today, because I was able to get past it, to see past, getting out of bed, pulling back the covers, and, actually picking myself up. It was really about an inside job. So that is where I was inspired to bring the Inspiration University style model that we've done before and bring it to the theCafeD. So I look back, I have a meme that says, you'll look back and someday all of this will make sense. Yeah. And all of that I did with Inspiration University, where you came and were such a motivation and a guru for so many women, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women, that I said, I can do this again, and I can do it for the people going through the divorce community. So thank you for being here, and I know you have a very special presentation for us today, so I'm not going to spend much time, so let's get started if you're ready.
That's wonderful, and yes, Vicky, I agree with you totally that the secret here is doing it from the inside. That has been the number one really way of not even way, that my experience, it has been that without working from the inside out, everything else really doesn't fall into place. So
you can't pick yourself up. You can't. You can't get out of bed. You can't get the fog away.
And what I wanted to say to Vicky is that it's interesting because what I did, instead of going inside first, as we are talking about here, I wanted for someone to fix me. I wanted for someone to give me the happiness that I was seeking. I wanted for someone else to change the pain. I wanted it out. I wanted the solution to come from the outside. And my goodness, I was wasting so much time. So I am so happy that again that you are offering this service, because then people can go straight into the solution and not have to wait any time, and especially because we're dealing with emotions here, which is very difficult sometimes. So yes, the wonderful thing is that there is a way out, and it doesn't have to be that difficult at all. So what I am going to do is go ahead and start the presentation. If you just give me one moment here, I go to my presentation. Well, right now we have you have in front of you a beautiful picture of someone that is becoming free, and that is really how we feel when we are able to let go of the past. I recently published a book called Uncover Your Glorious Being, and one of the chapters is Forgive and Be Free. This has been, the practice of forgiveness has been the most important practice of my entire life. I had a lot of people to forgive, and I didn't know that I was carrying with me a lot of the anger from what happened in my childhood. And so therefore, when I got married for the first time, I thought that I was going to be married to this man for the rest of my life. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And I know that one of the situations that showed up in our marriage was my bad temper. I really was, a lot of times I would get angry easily. And it was years later that I realized that I had to work from the inside out to release that anger. Obviously, my first husband had a lot of things that he also needed to shift in his own way of being. So I always believe that it's 50-50, that we do have each one the possibility to work things out if we realize that we have to work from the inside. And so what happened is that I went through that first marriage, then I got divorced, and then I still didn't see the message behind this experience. It was so obvious, but I didn't see it. So how many of you have known of people who get married to an alcoholic for the second, the third, the fourth time, or someone who has an addiction? And it is because we, by the law of attraction, tend to attract the same type of personality because of what we are sending out, what is called the magnetism that we are sending out. So what I was sending out, the energy, the vibration that I was sending out was an energy of someone who needed to come into my life and really create, for both of us to create in a way turmoil. So what happened is that I got divorced, and then I was like, okay, this was not the man of my life, and I definitely gossip about him, and I put him down, and I judge and everything. I mean, it was his fault. Everything was his fault. I definitely didn't see that I had my part on it. I was playing victim. I was in victim mode. How many of you have been there or have seen people, your family members or friends, who also have played in that mode of victim? Well, the challenge with that is that it's not empowering. It diminishes us as people, and we are not able to really overcome the situations that show up in our lives. So then I went through my second divorce, I'm sorry, my second marriage, and I thought this was definitely it. No more, no more mistakes. And because I didn't change from the inside out, because I didn't do the forgiveness process, because I was still even angry at the first, at my first ex-husband, then I brought all of that energy, all of those behaviors into my second marriage. Well, for the first maybe months and even a year, everything was Mary Poppins. But little by little, the ugliness started to show in our relationship. And unfortunately, in the second case, my ex-husband was also kind of bad-tempered person, and me too. So it was really not a nice picture at all. So the reason why I want to share my own story is because I want to let you know that what I am going to share today with all of you really comes from my own experience, and it comes from transforming my own life. Because right after my second divorce, I finally decided that I needed to seek help. It took a lot of humbleness. And then, fortunately, after my second divorce, I really realized that I needed to let go of the past. And this is what forgiveness is about. Forgiveness means letting go of the past. Well, obviously, we, in so many ways, every one of you has let go of the past in different areas of your life, but sometimes there are areas, and especially when it comes to relationships, we hurt ourselves when we hold on to the memories and the judgment and the gossiping and anything else that is not in alignment with love. So my invitation today for everyone is to really consider seriously to letting go of the past, especially concerning your relationship with your relationships with your ex-husband or ex-wife, and to really, or ex-partner, whoever that person is, and to really be willing to give yourself that gift, because it's a gift you give yourself. That's why I call it forgive and be free. That is how I felt after I did all the process. So today I am going to share with you a wonderful process that I call it the 1, 2, 3. It's not difficult at all, and it's just it takes willingness. It takes willingness. So the process, I call it the letting go 3-step process, and it's 3, 1, 2, 3. Recognize that you have some forgiveness to do, some letting go of some judgment, letting go of maybe playing victim once in a while, and then release and then replace it with positive, empowering habits. And I will explain one by one and give you tools on how you can go through this process. Now, I understand clearly that when it comes to dealing with emotions, it's the heart can feel quite broken, and I understand that, and I want to really say to all of you who are listening that I'm sorry that you had to go through that, because I know that it could be very painful. I am sorry. I feel very sad about human suffering. So I'm sorry that you had to go through all of this, and the only thing I can say to you at this moment is that there is a way out. There is a solution. When I was going through my second divorce, and my first divorce too, I didn't see a solution. My world was quite dark in the sense of possibilities. And then, fortunately, because I decided to seek help, then everything changed in amazing ways, to the point that today I am able to help others to let go of the past, to shift their negative emotions into love, into peace, into joy. So again, there is a way out. And I remember quite well when I started working with a coach back when I was going through my second divorce. This person used to say, Gloria, I know that it seems difficult to believe it, to understand it, to accept it, but there is a way out, Gloria. She had a lot of compassion. So I want to let you know that there is a way out, and to know that if we do our part, then we can really transform our lives, because everything happens for a reason. So the first step here is to recognize. And in this step, all you have to do is observe very carefully the self-talk in your head. For example, when you see yourself or hear yourself talking negatively about your spouse or your ex-partner, to really observe yourself very carefully. And when we go to step number 2, I will show you how to let go. But for the moment, when you are observing yourself, you can really let go and say, this doesn't serve me. It's not going to benefit me to keep thinking about this way, to keep thinking this way or negatively. I'm going to really let go. So you start, as you recognize, you start right there the process of letting go. And number 2, pay attention to the stories that you are telling yourself. A lot of times we tell stories of that we are not going to be able to overcome the experience, that is too sad, that we don't have what it takes, that we don't have the money, that whatever. And I like to share with you a story. I live in Pembroke Pines, Florida, and I remember sitting after my second husband left, sitting at the staircase, on the staircase, and then I remember crying and thinking, my goodness, I don't think I'm going to be able to pay for the mortgage of this home. And I was extremely sad. And then somehow I decided to again start seeking help and allowing coaches and seminars and workshops to really help me to turn around my own negative habits and anything that was negative conditioning. And then, do you know that this is about 18 years later, and I am still in the same house. The house looks quite beautiful, and it was just the fear in my mind that created the idea that I was not going to be able to pay for the mortgage. So the stories could be all kinds of stories. My invitation is to let go, and very important at this moment, at this point, to believe in a higher power, whatever way you call your higher power, and to have faith that that higher power is right there with you. Very important. Number 3, be conscious of the language that you are using. So important. Not only the language that you are using regarding yourself, but for example, that I cannot do it, that is too difficult, anything like that, but also the language that you are using regarding other people. Like I invite you to let go of any conversations that are negatively related to your ex-partner, to really let go, because there is a law working in the universe at all times, and it's called the law of attraction. So what happens is that when we keep talking negatively about another person, we create a magnetism, and unfortunately we are going to attract more of the same trouble. And that is something that is so important to understand. I have really taught a lot in the area of law of attraction. And it's so important to understand the law. It's the same as the law of cause and effect, or the law of karma. So very important to pay attention. Okay.
Gloria,
yeah, yes.
When you say that, it reminds me of a meme that I created that I have. That it says, you can't expect to live a positive life if you hang around with negative people. And just like you can't expect to live a positive life if you are speaking in negative terms all the time. If everything in your life is bad, if everything is is awful, you know, he's, you know, a son of a bitch. All of those things, all of those negative things come back to you. You can't expect it to go in a different direction if that's what you're constantly talking on. And it, if you allow that to feed your soul, that's what comes back to you.
Yeah.
That's how you've been nourishing yourself. So you can't, you're absolutely right, being conscious of the language that you're using because it comes back to you.
Very good point, and that's why the famous quote that you become what you think about.
Yes.
Yeah, become. So, well, and one thing that I like to mention here to everyone is that it is very important to recognize the things that you are doing, like the negative language that you are using, or the stories or anything, but please make sure that you do it from the space of self-love. I invite everyone to let go of the guilt, let go of of the anger, obviously, but let go of the shame or any feeling that is about self-accusation. Because when we stay in that space, unfortunately, it's very difficult for us to really even want to make some changes. So guilt is something that doesn't help at all. I always tell people everywhere I go that it's important to let go of the guilt, and instead of guilt, say, I am so happy that I am listening to this program and I am taking responsibility for the future of my life. This is wonderful. And yes, I have made mistakes like everyone else, and now I'm ready to let go and to start a new chapter. So my invitation is do this whole process with love and compassion. Very, very important. Okay, so once you recognize, we are going to go to the next step, which is release. That's step number 2. And it's very simple. It's not difficult at all. It's just that we have to be willing to do our part. Journal. You can every single day get up in the morning and take the time to journal, maybe for 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be for a long time. And you know what you can journal? You can journal anything that you're angry about. If whatever it is that your partner did to you, then you can really go ahead and write it down. And obviously, you don't send anything to that person. You just release it. And if possible, if it is a very angry letter, you can go ahead and destroy it once you finish writing the letter. This process of forgiveness, that is something that I coach people on, and the results are always 100% tangible. They are absolutely real miracles that happen as a result of the work I do with people. So journal every day and let go of the anger, let go of the sadness, let go of the fear, let go of everything. The second thing, read or listen or watch to positive messages. Very important. Nowadays, the YouTube is inundated with speakers and people who really want to help others. Then you have a lot of free material. You can listen to someone like, you can listen to Louise Hay. You can listen. The other day, I was listening with my sister to The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. I mean, you name it. There are so many beautiful books and messages that you can listen to every day. For example, one thing that I do, every time I get in my car, I always have an audiobook there that is about self-empowering. Always have an audiobook. I love the Course in Miracles. I study the Course in Miracles and I teach the Course in Miracles. And you can read nowadays it's so easy to buy so many audiobooks. When I go for my walk every day, I also listen to some empowering message. So I am constantly doing that. Number 3, take classes. Make sure that you sign up for a class that it resonates with you, that the teacher resonates with you. There are so many opportunities. If you want to do it in person, one-on-one, or if you want to do it over the internet, like this wonderful service that Vicky offers, I think that is priceless, really priceless. So go ahead.
Yeah. Meetup has a lot of great in-person. If you need something in person, go to meetup.com and find people that are into the same things that you're into. You and I are both into personal and self-development, and my goodness, you and I should probably share our libraries because we definitely are, that's something that we're into. But if you're into pottery making, there are classes and there are people that you can meet on Meetup that share a common interest. So that's just a little tip there.
That definitely. And for example, I remember many years ago when I decided to seek help, I I met a beautiful lady who teaches the essence of being workshops. Her name is Bert Smith, and my goodness, she really helped me to transform my life. And I used to go not only to her workshops but also to volunteer. And every time I volunteered, I healed another layer of the onion. It was such an amazing experience. And the same thing with Les Brown. I had been a platinum speaker. He's my mentor. And my goodness, with his help, he helped me tremendously to let go of the past. He talks a lot about that, and he reminds people that there is greatness within you. For those of you who don't know Les Brown, he's an amazing motivational speaker. Really, yes,
Amazing.
amazing. Yeah. And then also I have been mentored by Bob Proctor, and he's just amazing. He is an expert when it comes to the topic of love attraction, the topic of the mind and how it works. There are so many amazing people out there. So taking classes, seminars, workshops is very, very important. I myself teach a lot of seminars and classes over the phone or in person as well. So you can check out my website when you have a chance. Then seek professional help. This I cannot say enough. It's extremely important to have a coach, someone that you can work with and that can help you to see the picture, because as Les Brown says, when you are in the picture, you cannot see the frame.
Right.
Yeah.
See
So,
the jar if you're inside of it.
yes.
The
Yes.
jar, right?
Yes, that's right. So professional help is extremely important. So I invite you to really consider that and work with someone that resonates with you. And also another part that definitely has been key in my life is developing a deeper faith. You don't have to become a fundamentalist only to develop that deeper faith from within your heart, to know that there is a wonderful power that is always for you, and developing that deeper faith helps you to walk through this life in a way that it makes more sense and it's a lot easier. So these are really powerful tools that you can use to let go and to release. And I can say that I have used every single one of them, and I continue to use them. Really, I take classes and I teach classes. I have a coach. I have a wonderful relationship with my higher power. I meditate every single day, first thing in the morning. I read a lot. I do everything. There is nothing that I can share with people that I don't do myself. That's why people tend to say that I really walk the talk. Well, I think I have to be honest enough for me to first walk the talk, and from that space to teach, because otherwise I would feel like I am a hypocrite if I don't do it like that. So these are the tools that you can use. And then the third step, again, is 1, 2, 3. Recognize, release, and then replace. Replace what you are letting go with new empowering habits. And here I like to invite you to really affirm that it's possible to create a new way of living by you putting the effort and the energy, to not allow your ego to tell you that it's difficult. If, let's say, your mind says to you it is difficult, you know that you can use the phrase that I heard from a teacher a while ago, and he used to say, replacing it with the phrase, I choose to make it easy. I choose to make it easy. So right there, you are giving your subconscious mind a new directive, new information, and and that is really so important. So with replace, some of the areas that sometimes we keep, how can I say, like having to look into is the fear. When we were not created fearful beings. We were created as beings of courage, with a sound mind. And so therefore fear is something that is totally opposite to our true nature. So my invitation is, let's say that you are fearful about something, use an affirmation, or sit down and journal, or at that moment go ahead and listen to some classical music, or go for a walk. There are so many wonderful ways, and this I do myself. Or I sit, I close my eyes and I pray. So you can do so many things, but not allow the fear to take control of you, because it's false evidence appearing real. That's the definition that I have heard in the past. False evidence appearing real. It's not real. The only reality of every one of us, and Vicky said it clearly when she introduced me about us being glorious being, the light being in us all the time, but we have to recognize that. That's why the title of my book is Uncover Your Glorious Being, because before my divorces, I used to believe that I wasn't good enough, that I didn't have what I took to do this or that. It was a lot of insecurity, a lot of fear, and definitely a lot of anger. And then after I decided to look inside and to really let go of the past, I saw a glorious being. I saw a Gloria that is happy, that is joyful, that is kind, that is compassionate. And I like that Gloria. And every one of us also has a glorious being inside of us. We are beings of love. We are not beings of fear, or we are not beings of anger. So anger, replace it with love. Make the commitment to, let's say you say, Gloria, but it's too difficult. I totally understand, because sometimes we have been hurt in ways that have been too deep. However, the good news is that there is always a way to forgive. And the Course in Miracles teaches that there is nothing to forgive, because there is a perfect universe in which the situations or the experiences or the lessons that we learn are necessary for our evolution. So let go of anger. If you cannot do it by yourself, I totally understand. I could not do it by myself. I was too angry. I lost my mother when I was only 6.5, and then my father remarried, and we lived with our stepmother, and she was worse than the story of the Cinderella. So I had so much anger towards her and my dad that it really affected my life when I became an adult, and especially when I got married. So then little by little, when I started to do the process of forgiveness with a coach who helped me, I understood where their anger was coming, and my goodness, what a different Gloria. Oh, it's just day and night. It works if you work it. It works if you work it. So let go of anger and replace it with love. I also invite you to let go of resentment, which is really attached to anger. Replace it with forgiveness. Let go of anything that is not love. My dear friends, just think about a river. And let's say that you are trying to swim up the river, holding on to branches and rocks and whatever it is that comes your way. That is the difficult, that is the way many of us choose to live life, with resentment, with anger, with fear. Turn around, go down the river and flow with the river, and let the river take away, the water of the river take away the fear, take away the resentment, take away the anxiety, take away anything that is not love. Feel that you are rushing towards the ocean, which is oneness with your higher self. That is, you are rushing and you want to go into that space, and that's exactly how my journey has been. Is I feel now that I am swimming in this beautiful river, and I am going to the right destination, feeling more in oneness with my higher self, with what I call God. So my invitation is, let go of all of these. Let go of judgment. And if you find yourself judging yourself or others, say to yourself internally, no, this is not something that I want to create more of in my life. As Vicky said earlier, you will create more of the same. And that is so sad that a lot of times all we have to do, as Bob Proctor says, move from ignorance to truth, move from ignorance to knowledge. Let's be knowledgeable about how the laws of the universe work, and how when we focus on anything negative, we are going to get more of the same. And so replace any judgment with praise. And you can just say at that moment when you are about to judge someone, you can say to yourself, I choose to only praise people. I choose to be positive. I choose to shift my consciousness. So you can, my book, Uncover Your Glorious Being, every single chapter has affirmations. It's amazing, and you are going to receive a gift at the end of this talk that is related to my book. So the other part, let go of criticism, replace it with acceptance. The more you accept yourself, the more you love yourself, the more you have that compassion that I was talking about earlier, instead of judgment and guilt, the more you are going to be able to love others and really respect others and accept others. And just recently I saw one of the messages from Wayne Dyer, who used to say that when you squeeze an orange, you should be able to get juice. Well, what happens when someone squeezes you and maybe pushes your buttons? Are they getting love out of you? If they are not, just go ahead and forgive yourself, and then make the commitment to set up a plan on how to let go of the anger, of the sadness, of the judgment, or anything negative. So that way, if anyone squeezes you, someone cuts you in front of you when you're in traffic or whatever, they get love out of you instead of lemon, instead of anger. So that is how we can turn our lives around. And again, I am talking from my own experience. People who know me, they have seen, especially my family, they have seen the Gloria before and the Gloria after. And here, this is the final part of my presentation, is about affirming. Affirmations are so important. So anytime that you feel that you want to, that your mind is wandering into the negative space, then immediately say, no, this is not acceptable. I'm going to go ahead and use an affirmation. Forgiveness is my doorway to freedom. Or you can go ahead and listen to classical music, go for a walk. I mean, do anything that is positive. I use an affirmation a lot during the day. It's like, it has become my mantra. And I always say, only love is real. Only love is real. And as a matter of fact, I publish my newsletter every month, and it's called Love in Action. I believe in the power of love. And I really invite everyone to replace anything that doesn't look like love with love. And if you don't know how to do it, don't worry about it. Continue connecting with the theCafeD, with the teachings of so many people who are wanting to serve humanity, and to really know that you have the right to live a happy and prosperous life, a positive life, but it has to come from the inside. So that is my invitation, is if forgiveness sets you free, give yourself that gift if you haven't done it yet. Maybe most of you have already done that process, and that's wonderful. Congratulations. But if you haven't, then this is a wonderful opportunity to do it, to move from victim to victor, and to fill your heart with love, because that's how we are able to impact the world in a beautiful way, when we fill our hearts with love, instead of contaminating the world. And that is something that I do my best to practice and to express every single day, is unconditional love. So,
You know,
yes.
Gloria, it's so true. One of the things that I see a lot on our public Facebook page and then our private group is a lot of people are challenged with the idea of forgiveness. And if you don't know, I'd love to share with you how I came to be able to say that word, that I forgive my ex, because I always felt as though it was saying, okay, I'm okay with what he did, because I'm not. But what was shared with me by Coach Felicia Scott, and she's actually done a webinar that we have on forgiveness in our Get Your Happy Back series, and that was this. She shared to me, she goes, Vicki, have you ever had somebody owe you money? Has anybody ever borrowed something from you and you never got it back? You know, and I'm going, well, yeah, that happens that's happened to me a lot in my life. And she goes, and so look at all of those things that you thought that your ex owed you, and then I want you to write it out on an IOU. And that's what I did. I created a real IOU. I wrote down everything he owed me, from respect, honor, integrity, honesty, fidelity, taking care of my children, being there for me, having my back, all of that stuff I wrote down, and I wrote down a lot. And I took that IOU and I ripped it up. And I know that I'm never going to get it back. I'm never going to get it. So I had to just let it go. And that for me was the most freeing part of what to me forgiveness was. I was just forgiving a debt. And that was what was so important to me. Oh, there I am. Can you stop sharing your screen so that, there we go. We can see your beautiful face again. Thank you. So that was for me the most freeing thing that I have ever done. And does it come back and rear its ugly head? Yes, it does. But the truth is that it is nowhere near what it used to be. And it was working, like you said, working with a coach, working with somebody that can help you through these things is so critical to your success. So, Gloria, thank you so much. I knew that you were going to be amazing. And what we're going to do now, Gloria, is that we're going to go back to our very private Facebook group, where you see the link that's here in the chat that gets you to join and become a part of our community. It starts at $7 a month. You can go back there. Right now we're going to be talking to Gloria live with Q&A right after this is over. But also know that I've got all of those other experts back there for you. Remember, I created that community of not only people like Gloria, and there's all sorts of people that can work with you. Gloria actually did for our, when I was with Inspiration University, I had you come in and you talked about the law of attraction.
Yes.
Few times, right?
Yeah.
And that was just so powerful and so great. Maybe would you come back and do the law of attraction?
I would love to. That's a great idea. Yes.
I would love that.
Yeah. So, don't forget my gift.
Tell us about that really quickly, please.
Yes, okay. So the gift that I like to give everyone is that you can go to my website, www.Gloria Ramirez, which is Gloria, and then Ramirez is RAMIREZ.com /forgive. And then you are going to get the whole chapter number 5 of my book, Uncover Your Glorious Being.
Oh,
so the whole chapter there, and it's an amazing, because I was not able to share the whole process, but that chapter has a whole process on how to do the forgiveness. And so go there and get it, and I also highly recommend for you to get the whole book, because the book it's extremely powerful.
I highly recommend. Anything that Gloria does is amazing, with integrity, and absolutely gives you the tools. That's what I love about you, Gloria, is that you actually give the tools on how to make it all work. And that's what's so important. So if you all have any need on actually, and we all do, because we've all been so hurt, we have to get through forgiveness, because if you can't and let it go, you'll never be able to move forward. I also there was a meme that I created, and it's a butterfly. I didn't create this one, actually. I shared it from somebody else's page, but it's a butterfly trying to fly up a set of stairs, and on the back of it, onto its leg is tied a rope that's tied to a rock. And it just says, and the part of my French, but it just says, just let shit go. So that you can move on. And that's the truth. We carry that rock back with us into everything. Some people, I call it luggage. You know, we all come with, we all come with baggage. And it's whether or not it's a steamer trunk or whether it's just a little carry-on. And that's based on how easily you can let go of it and let it stay behind you, so that when you're going and moving forward, it doesn't drag you down. So thank you for that. Chapter 5 on forgiveness. So it's Gloria Ramirez .com/forgive. Forgive or forgiveness?
Forgive.
Forgive.
Yeah.
GloriaRamirez.com/forgive, and we'll put that up in our chat right now so that you guys can have a link to that. Please join us, because we are going back right now to have some live Q&A, and we'll talk about the law of attraction, we'll talk about forgiveness, we'll talk about anything that you want to talk about with Gloria. So Gloria, thank you so much for being here. We're going to, as soon as we get off this live Q&A, let's you and I schedule a time to do the law of attraction, because that's absolutely my favorite that you've done. And this So again, thank you. I hope you all know why I invited Gloria to come and be a part of our community. She's there for you. I hope you will be a part of our community, and I look forward to seeing you there. For now, we'll see you next Tuesday. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. God bless you. Very good. Bye-bye.